Now, you remember Monday, I think Monday night, I said that General Motors, who had just settled a strike, Toyota, and a couple other auto giants decided to back Trump in the court case in Trump's decision that California is not going to make a rule that will make it easier for their residents to breathe. California is not, which they already made, California will not make a rule that will try just a little bit to impede global warming. No, Donald Trump, being the murderous fuck that he is, he wants people, I guess, to die. He doesn't give a shit. He could never be convicted of anything, right? So the Trump administration filed a lawsuit against California and 22 other states who had decided to stay with the Obama administration rules about tailpipe emissions. The Trump administration said, "Fuck them. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that." And in order to enforce that, the Trump bastards are trying to take from California the part of the Clean Air Act that allows states to take waivers to have more stringent rules than the federal ruling allows for. Trump said, "No, fuck you. You're going to die like everybody else. And besides, I don't like California. I hope it burns to the ground." And I swear to God, Trump operatives have been setting those fires. I don't have a bit of doubt. Huh? Empty conspiracy theories from Malloy? Anyway, this decision by General Motors, Toyota, and some other auto giants to back Trump comes a few days after the White House, Trump, and the pigs that work with him pressured these automakers to support one of Trump's biggest efforts to weaken climate regulations. These goddamn bastards, I mean, this is not bullshit little simple stuff that puts more money in Trump's pocket, which is 90% of what the prick does. This is global. This is horrifying. Now, before Trump put his pigs on the phone to threaten the automakers, a lot of them had indicated to California that they would just stay neutral. That's according to the chairwoman of California's Clean Air regulator, the Air Resources Board. Her name is Mary Nichols. And last week, that stance by some of these major automakers to remain neutral quickly changed. Guess what happened? According to the Times, Andrew Olmem, O-L-M-E-M, a top policy aide to the pig, began calling car companies to push them to sign on to the pig's effort in the courts to eliminate California's right to set its own auto emissions rules on planet warming pollution, which was a power granted under the Clean Air Act of 1970. The pig who made the phone call, Andrew Olmem, was joined on the phone in some cases by Justice Department officials who threatened the automakers, threatened them. The auto industry already was divided. In July, four major companies, Ford, Honda, Volkswagen, and BMW, publicly sided with California and the other 22 states that want their residents to be able to fucking breathe. Now, here's the part that please pay attention. This is what happens in a fascist state, which is what we are slowly becoming, and not so slow as I used to think. This is how it was in Germany, in Nazi Germany. Listen up. This is from the Times. Car makers have long feared that Mr. Trump might retaliate if they decided to go with California's waiver, either with tariffs or trade restrictions if they didn't support his effort the bastards' effort to dismantle the rules which were designed, they were fucking designed to fight climate change. After California struck its deal with the four automakers, the Trump bastards and the Justice Department bastards pushed a series of unusual legal and policy moves against the state of California and those companies, including a threat for an antitrust investigation. All of this widely perceived as threatening, retaliatory. Trump, again, with his negative quid pro quo. Now, you fucking do what I say, or I am going to bring your auto industry to its knees. Representatives from GM and Fiat Chrysler declined to comment on the record. Since the legal case is still unfolding, in a statement, Toyota said it had, quote, entered into this legal action not as a plaintiff or a defendant, and not as a favor to any political party. Oh, what are you then, Toyota? I'll tell you what you are. You're fucking cowards. That's what you are. You're not entering into the action as a plaintiff or a defendant and not to favor any political party. Well, then why are you doing it? Because you're a bunch of goddamn cowards. That's why. What is it about this orange fuck that makes you people so weak-kneed? What is it? Hey, Toyota is intervening, their statement said, to impact how emissions standards are applied. And quote, oh, horseshit. Corporate talk for we don't give a fuck. We're only going to be around as living, breathing humans for at most another 40, 50 years. We don't care. And on Wednesday, yesterday, the pig wrote on Twitter, quote, thank you to General Motors, Toyota, Fiat, Chrysler, and the other automakers. Well, Toyota, the pig is thanking you. Thank you, he wrote, for standing with us for better, cheaper, safer cars for Americans. California has treated the auto industry very poorly for many years, harming workers and consumers. We are fixing this problem, end quote. This is what makes me just fucking insane. This is why I have battles every once in a while. I'll sit bolt upright in bed at 3 a.m. and I'll think, don't ever fucking read a newspaper again, Malloy. Don't ever watch television news and get the fuck out of the podcast business. Because this shit keeps going on. Yeah, okay. They passed in the House today what amounts to a schedule. The rules of how they're going to hold an impeachment inquiry. You know, at this point, I don't give a shit about the impeachment. Here's what I give a shit about. 5, 10, 15, 20 million of us in the fucking streets. Why aren't we there? What is with us? General Motors, Toyota, and some other members of the alliance, that would be the Alliance of Automobile Manufacturers, that's the industry's powerful lobbying arm. General Motors, Toyota, and some other members of the alliance thought it was safer bet to back the White House. You dirty son of a bitches. We don't have a General Motors car. We don't have a Toyota car. And I will open a fucking vein in my throat before I ever buy one. They thought it was a safer bet to back the White House in this lawsuit filed by California and more than 20 other states to take advantage of the waiver part of the Clean Air Act that said if the states want to have more stringent rules and regulations, go ahead. But other alliance members, Ford, BMW, Volkswagen, along with Honda, had already struck a deal to side with California and abide by its tougher rules, publicly opposing Mr. Trump. Given that its members were divided, the alliance told the White House it would not be publicly siding with the Trump administration, according to a person familiar with all this shit. And then the pig son of a bitches, the Nazis that work for Trump, sprang into action. The Trump killers faced a deadline this past Monday for any other parties to legally support its position, the Trump administration, in this lawsuit. But as of last Friday afternoon, according to 4 people familiar with the matter, there were no signs for major car companies to back the White House. Nobody was going to go along with it. Since the opening days of his administration, the Trump pig has touted his rollback of vehicle pollution rules as helping both automakers and car buyers, who the Trump bastard said would benefit from lower sticker prices. Can you fucking believe this? There haven't been lower sticker prices on cars in the past 50 fucking years. What are they talking about? Oh, that's right. And then Mr. Ullman, that little prick that works for Trump, the White House policy aide, along with some Justice Department officials, started calling car companies to tell them, you fuckers better sign on with the Trump administration. Now, as I mentioned before, this case, which eventually will work its way to the corrupted Supreme Court, will have far-reaching consequences for both climate change and states' rights. Remember states' rights, what the Republicans used to scream about, they were in favor of, when it was, Negroes who were seeking the right of constitutional protection like Caucasians. Remember that? And little pig bastards like Jesse Helms, senator from North Carolina, and all these white Southern senators, every goddamn last one of them, screamed about the right of the states to make their own rules. You can't force integration on us. Remember George Wallace standing in the fucking door of University of Alabama? Remember Orville Faubus refusing to comply with an order, University of Arkansas? Remember all that shit? And federal troops had to come in and point fucking guns at people and say, integrate. This is the federal law. You're not going to continue to treat dark-skinned human beings like they're not human. And of course, the cowardly fucking white people in the South immediately, okay. States' rights, though. That was their big argument. Hey, we have a right. We're states' rights. We're a federalist society. We're state. What happened to that argument now? You lying, hypocritical bastards. Where's that argument now?
Greetings, truth seekers. It's that time of year again. Time to help your humble and obedient podcaster keep it lit by keeping the lights on in the Malloy studio with a podcast pledge drive. All October, we are giving away freebies, goodies, and gifts as thank yous for subscribing or renewing your Malloy podcast at the Trump recession level reduced price of $49 a year. It's a different giveaway each week, truth seekers. Everything from an autographed copy of Mike's book, Colored Ice Cream, to my holiday baked goods. Already have a Malloy podcast? Well, it makes a great gift. And remember, podcast subscribers also get exclusive access to the weekend bonus shows, which might be hosted by Mike or by me. We even have a teen show coming up featuring Molly and her friends. Just visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe or renew today. Keep it lit.